Hey guys, what's up? Pitmar3 here, and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. In the last episode, we had to deal with a bunch of crows, which turned out to be a very good area to level up. Mostly Rolf, because, you know, bows and flying units generally don't mix, for those of you that have played Fire Emblem before. And it's no surprise that he was the MVP. We also recruited Jill to our side, even though she's kind of essentially stuck here and not really on our side, but she's apparently sticking around for some reason, so I guess we'll have to figure out why later on. But in this episode, we'll be dealing with, if I recall, a very interesting level. Yes, it's probably going to be on here. I think Youth will give away what this level is, if I recall. Yep, alright, cool. So, this is actually a 2-star conversation which you will want to pay attention to if you've been having trouble with any of the current levels. This pretty much gives you an idea of exactly how the next level is going to work before you actually start it. And yes, we get the tutorial between the two brothers. Not that it really matters. Anyway, we fought a lot. Yeah, sure enough. What is it? Picture this. Let's say there's 2 ships, and that there are planks connecting those ships at 3 different points. Now then, the soldiers from one ship are about to attack the other one. Imagine that the defending side has 2 soldiers. If they want to mount a solid defense, what should they do? And yeah, position the soldiers with the best defense on the planks, like cavaliers and knights. Right? And then you'd want to have the long-range attackers line up behind the tougher units, barring the bridges. So archers, anybody with a javelin or a hand axe, magic, stuff like that, you'd be able to do a lot of damage without that much risk. Seems like a rough on the soldiers defending the bridges. You might want to heal them often, obviously, but there's a way to reduce how much damage they take. And right, also, if they don't attack, they won't risk the chance of there being a counterattack. Now, the reason he says this, according to this, is because he's been playing a war game with his brother and he's lost 4 times in a row. But this pretty much outright tells you how the next level is going to work. Now, the only difference is there's 3 ships. You'll have an ally ship, your own ship, and the enemy ship. You'll be the lowest of the 3. The ally one will be in the center, and the enemy ship will be on the top. So you'll have to cross across your own bridge and then across theirs. But that's pretty much how this next level is going to work. So it's actually not as bad as you'd think. Once you get them off the ally ship, you're pretty much set. Of course, Ike thought he was actually talking about something realistically, but anyway. And now we have Amy. This is the part of the story, I believe, where she is this the part where she starts flirting with Ike very creepily and he has no interest whatsoever? Yep, sure enough. She wanted to see what the crows look like, so she went on deck. I thought I heard a strange shrieking sound. Was that you? Not really, he was exhausted. He could barely move. And so yes, now she's flirting with him, and he has no interest whatsoever. So yes, you'll be seeing that throughout the rest of the game, and the sequel too. So now we have Jill. And is there any reason that you're still here? So as a Daean soldier, he cannot allow a Crimean princess and her band of mercenaries to run free where they will. So even if she was to leave, the land is far away to reach. So no wyvern can apparently fly that far without resting, and she's not about to go on a place that's got lagoos, so apparently she's stuck here. Because she wanted to be recognized, that's why she chased after us. Yep, you're recognized by the fact that now you're stuck here with us. Good job. Good job. I'll take you as far as Benyon, yeah, and then after that you can get out of here. Have fun being stuck here. 3 brothers. This is something I will not be using, but it is relatively important. I'm just gonna occasionally hit A through the dialogue right here because they don't quite tell you what is going on in this instance, but I talked about it a little bit. This is one of the sets of units, the 3 brothers, obviously Boyd, Oscar, and Rolf, that have the ability to perform a triangle attack. Now the only way you can do this is if you get Oscar into his paladin class and Boyd into his warrior class, and they both have the ability to wield bows. Obviously Rolf already has that ability, so nothing will change there. If you surround a unit with the 3 of them, it will perform a triangle attack, which is like a super crazy strong attack that will likely kill whatever enemy it is being used against. This really isn't that necessary in particular for this game, and like I said, I'm not a big fan of Boyd, but if you are using all 3 of the brothers, it might be worth having Boyd upgrade to bows and having Oscar upgrade to bows as well, just so you could do it. It's also a quote-unquote unstoppable attack. And so Boyd came up with this wonderful plan, and then it's Oscar's job to figure out the details, of course. But either way, you can see that little cutscene. They may not like to admit, but they certainly are close. Yeah, sure, why not? Supports, we do not have anything new, that's fine. Manage awardee XP, how much do we have? Oh right, Ike's already maxed, so there's no point in working on him. So Hark, you're missing 1 point, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to you. Because you never know, those stats might depend on if he survives or dies. Okay, so Nephany looks to be the lowest. I would like to get Soren relatively close. Where is he anyway? Oh, he's up here. 17. I would like to get him closer to 20. But I think he'll do pretty well in this next chapter. This isn't one that you have to be really restricted with how many units you bring in, unlike the last one was. So I'm going to say for now, Jill and Leaf. I did say I was going to start using mostly bonus experience on Mist, but you've got to get your units essentially to a point where they're not in severe trouble almost all the time. Which, like I said, the unfortunate thing about how I play is a lot of my units kind of struggle at that level where it's like, they're good, but they're not, you know, they still take maybe 2 hits tops, and after that they're in trouble. So, in doing that, you do have to be careful, but after a while they'll start to be able to hold their own with like little to no help from bonus experience, and, you know, they'll be strong enough to where they can get their own experience in battle, and once that happens, then I can start dumping most of the experience into Mist rather than into my regular units. Let's see, is anybody remotely close? Rolf is close to a level, so I'm going to go ahead and let him get it. Really? Oh, that's lame. Why am I getting such bad levels? Maybe Soren can get something better? He's probably gonna get nothing again, isn't he? He got the exact same thing. Dude! Whatever. Alright, fine. I see how it is. Mia's... Alright, where she is. Couldn't give it to her. Nah, it's gonna put her just shy of it. Let's just give the rest of it to Mist. At least she'll get a level out of it. And it won't be a point in just luck, will it? No, magic and luck! Hooray! Slightly better. But only just. I guess I'll save the rest of the experience, not that it'll matter. Or I'll just give it to Mia. Skills, do I have anything? No, I don't. Alright, Ike, you look fine, and you're not going to be battling anyway, so it's not that big a deal. So Hark, you don't need that coin, so I'll go ahead and store that and sell it in a minute. Soren doesn't need the coin either. Any extra fire spells? I do. Okay, I'll go ahead and take another one. Rolf, you don't need either of these. Nephany's fine. Mia doesn't need this. Yeah, go ahead and take it with you. You never know. Stealing, yeah, I gotta figure out what to do with Jill in a second here. I'm gonna go ahead and give Leaf that Laguz stone that we picked up, since she's the only Laguz that I'm using currently. And I probably won't be using the next, well, I definitely won't be using the next one we come across. I might add a second one in if I can, you know, think of a reason to, but typically I just use Leaf for my Laguz unit, and that's it. So, let's see, Jill. What do we have in storage already? Gonna go ahead and give you that. Let's go ahead and give her that Iron Lance, and I'm gonna forge one as well. Well, no, I need to sell some items first. I've got that blue gem that I need to get rid of. Get rid of the coins. And now that I have more finance to do this, I could forge a slim one, but like, it goes from hit 80 to 85, and you're losing about half of the power for it, and you get like a tiny critical bonus. I don't think it's worth forging a slim weapon. that. That actually didn't cost very much. I didn't even have to sell that blue gem, but I mean the only point of the gems is to sell them, so I'm gonna give that to her. Okay, so we can't forge another weapon, but that's alright. You are going to want both Soth and Volt for this stage. There's a lot of treasure chests, so I would recommend taking them both. But you will have to be careful with them, obviously. In particular on this stage, you'll see why when we get started. Oscar's okay. Ileana's okay. I think we're about set. I need to figure out what to do with that Laguz guard, though. I could put it on Ileana or Zahark. I think I'm gonna put it on Zahark, though. Because Zahark would actually, you know, like, be fighting a Laguz head-on more than Ileana would. Ileana would be 2 squares away, and there is no Laguz unit in this game that can attack from 2 spaces away, except for one that comes to mind, but it's because of skill they have. It's not because they can outright do it, so it seems like the best choice would be to put the Laguz guard on to Zahark. So go and equip it. Since we switched out Jill's inventory, we have to equip that one as well, so she's got the Wyvern Band now. She's at level 10, so I mean, she's not too bad off now. Yeah, those aren't terrible stats for a level 10 Wyvern Rider. Once she gets Class Change, you'll get to see a lot more potential from her. Same thing with Rolf, really. And I think that should do it. Let's go ahead and save. Let's see what we got. There's someone here claiming to be an envoy of the Theocracy of Benyon. She's been asking if the Princess of Crimea is aboard. What do you want to do? Perhaps you have word from King Gallia? I was about to say, on the other hand, it could be a trap, though. It's extremely unusual for a Benyon to send an envoy to meet a princess whom they do not even acknowledge. Yeah, pretty much. The envoy is essentially acting like the Empress would, but obviously the Empress can't put herself in danger, so... True. I will try to be more diplomatic. He probably won't. Besides, he has a point, so... Well, you meet her in here, but I think Ike would have, like, in theory, the smart thing to do would have had Ike and Soren and, like, you know, everybody else he trusts, aside from Valencia, go to meet her first, and then make that judgment call. But, whatever. Thankfully, I can tell you right now, this is not a trap. She actually is part of the, oh, the Holy Guard, you're right. Tanith. And so she wants to meet with her personally, and apparently the Apostle actually is here. But what a surprise, we've got more crows to deal with. We're not quite sure where the Apostle is. And so yes, they did not kidnap her. She basically ran off just because she could. As to the docks, and sure enough, one of the longshoremen heard her order the ship to set sail without us. Where is she now? Her ship is probably not too far from us. So yeah, they're gonna have to deal with that. So yes, this time, believe it or not, we are not under attack by the crows, but it appears Benyon's having a bit of an issue. However, Soren says we should probably help because, you know, that would obviously put us in the good graces. I don't approve of Soren's motivations, even though they're true, but I agree that we should help. This is like one of the few times in the game that you're actually helping rather than being the ones that are getting attacked. It's kind of an interesting turn on things. Have fun fighting those crows. They're Bjork too. What do they all want here? Yeah, there are Bjork that are on the ships. Hey, we came to give you a hand. We'll keep the Ravens at bay. Yeah, they actually don't, but whatever. Let's go kick their asses. And look who it is. That guy looks familiar. So apparently this is somebody named Astrid, and since she actually has, you know, you can actually see her face, she's obviously important. And if we must defend the Apostle, yeah, she's right, if we gotta defend the Apostle, we gotta defend the Apostle. And it's that guy! Remember this guy! I'm just kidding, I remember. It's Gotri! Oh please, this is nothing. Yeah, he actually would be fine. Like, since he's got a ridiculous amount of defense, he would probably be able to just stick him on any plank and he would be able to just stand there the whole time. My confidence is backed with my blade, even though I use a lance, which technically qualifies as a blade, but usually in this game, blades refer to swords. I'm ready to fight. And somehow he didn't recognize us. They're more than we're screwed! Where are your reinforcements, dumbass? So now, pay attention to this. This is important. The first time I played this, I did not pay attention to this. The Apostle has taken refuge in the cabin below decks, which is that spot right there. Until the Holy Guard arrives, we need you to defend the entrance to the ship's cabins. This means that if any unit, whether it's a crow or an actual human player, goes onto that spot, the stage automatically ends with you failing. You need to defend that spot. So keep that in mind. Oh man, it has been a while since I've recorded. I don't know exactly when the first half of this was recorded, but it's been at least 10 days. Ever since whatever happened. I'm not sure. I'm willing to bet I probably died from something stupid. Likely it was one of the characters we'll recruit here, but let's go ahead and get started really quickly here. Units I'm taking into this, I am using a full set. Judging on by what I chose, it looks like I didn't really have to sit anybody out except for Ileana, because like I said, I kind of left her up to if I had the space where I would take her, if not, no big deal. You are going to want both of your thieves for this. You can do it with just one, and of course you can always ignore the treasure chests. But if you take a look at the map, there's 2 here, 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So they're kind of all over the place, so generally what I would be doing on this map, if I took both my thieves, is I would send Volk up the left side and Soth up the right, because the right is safer. Or what you can do is you can have Soth stay on this ship and focus on the treasure chests here because it's safer, and Volk take care of these 3 because it's not as safe and he's a higher level, so kind of up to you. But I would recommend probably both of your thieves for this. If you feel like you don't need them, then that's fine. As for everybody else, I'm taking pretty much my usual Mist, Leith, Oscar, Jill, Rolf, Nephany, Mia, Soren, Zahark, and Ike is, I guess, tagging along because we have to have him to recruit a character and because he's forced in every chapter. As for repositioning, what I would generally do here is, because of this character here, you're going to recruit Astrid. I'll go over her stats when we recruit her, but she is very, 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 very frail starting out. And in particular, if this Myrmidon gets to her, if she's not at full health, she's gonna die. Like, pretty much guaranteed she's gonna die if she gets hit 2 times or 3. She might survive 2 if they're weak attacks, but if they're relatively strong, she's gonna be out in 2 hits. So you have to make sure that she's covered on the first turn, which means you need to block off this section and this section here. So you want to send your characters with the highest movement on the front right here. So Leith has got 7 movement, Oscar has 9, Jill has 8. So this is a pretty good set right here for... No, we'll leave it as this. We'll leave it as this. So you want to put your people with the highest movement here first. So any of your Paladin units, any of your Laguz, Mordecai, Leith. If you're using Jill, if you're using Marcia, she's another good candidate because she's got high movement. So anybody with high movement there, put your thieves towards the back because of course they're focused on the chests, not the combat. In 10 turns it is enough to get everything taken care of on the ship. And then whoever you have left, obviously just put them in the spots that remain. You don't want to keep your healer back, of course, but that's kind of common sense. So, Items, looking over everything, it looks like we are all good. I'm just kind of showing this for clarification's sake, for those of you that are wondering what I was using. And let's go and get started here. Alright, so as I said, on this first turn, you are going to want to protect Astrid because of how weak she is. So, what you want to do is... No, not that. You want to move all your units into spots where Astrid is protected. So... go ahead and knock at the archer as well. She has a bow knight, so she'll attack from a range. So she would get to counterattack an archer, but, you know, she won't be taking damage if he's not there at all. So, of course, it'd be better to do that. Put Leaf right here and wait. Is there an archer anywhere near? No, that guy kind of is. How far can he go? Oh gosh, he's got a longbow. Alright, well then that makes that decision pretty easy. This won't get rid of him, but it will weaken him, so let's go ahead and do it. I forgot to turn Jill's animation off, so I need to do that. Oh, dude, seriously? Don't miss. Options. So if we don't care about your animations, because you shouldn't be getting into fights at all. Ike will not be able to make it to Astrid on his first turn unless you shoved him, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3 times, which, if you wanted to, you could do that, but you don't have to. It would get Astrid out of there because, of course, you could have a retreat, but you will need Astrid to recruit Gatry, or Gatry again, so just make a note of that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and shove you forward, why not? Some extra movement for characters, so might as well. Moving everybody up. And there we go. Oh, nope. There we go. So at the end of your first turn, you'll have this little conversation between Nisala, who's the king of the Raven Lagoons, and Norris. Hopefully he doesn't have a brother named Chuck. This boss is kind of hard, kind of easy. We'll get to him when we get to him. He doesn't move. It's just something really interesting about him that I've noticed. But he's talking with Nisala about the fact that he hired him. And this basically tells you that the Ravens, all of them essentially kind of act like mercenaries, except that they have no tact whatsoever. They literally will say, whoever can offer us the highest price, we will fight for them, or, you know, do whatever they ask us to do. They have absolutely no tact whatsoever. And so let's see. Yes, Benyon does carry the Crimean Princess. Yeah, thankfully he does not ask for his help because Nisala would be able to crush us. And so just like that, Nisala just decides to sit back, relax, have a martini, as these soldiers fight each other. Now, thankfully, this first ship is not too bad. Like I said, if you can get Astrid safe, you're pretty much okay. Gatry is in no shape of dying. Even if you didn't use him at all prior, he's not going to die from anything. He's got a ridiculous amount of defense and HP, as we already know, so he will not be in danger of anything. The only thing that could put him in danger is a mage, and I don't think it's possible for any mages to reach him on this map at all, really. There is a mage, but I don't think he moves. You'd have to move Gatry into the line of fire after you recruited him, so you'd have to be stupid enough to do that of your own free will. Just gonna let everybody move here. The others move. There are a couple guys helping you out here, and I use that term kinda loosely. Because, yeah, likely what they're gonna be doing is healing most of the time, but it is an opportunity for Miss to use her heal staff if you don't have anybody that's one of your actual units that you need to heal. You could always just take her up that way. Kind of hoping he'd knock at that Myrmidon, but at the same time that is a free... Well, no, Astrid's gonna get him. Yep, sure enough. If only that counted for her experience, because she really could use it early on. Oh well. We get to move before the enemies do anyway. Yeah, look at that, it's 17! I know that was a Steel Lance, but still, 17. And he didn't take any damage, so Gatry's doing perfectly fine for himself. So let's go ahead and talk to her. What's up? Are you alright? Who are you? My name's Ike, and with the Grill Mercenaries, I came to defend this ship and the Apostle if I can. Is that so? I'm Astrid, past Damiel. A blue blood, huh? Well, unless you're good with a sword, you better hide yourself in a cabin. I'll do no such thing. I trained once with knights and cavaliers. I may be of noble birth, but I know something of battle. I can fight. Well, if you can fight, we can use you. Let's work together. You gonna be alright with that? More than I would be hiding below deck, certainly. Alright, cool. We're just gonna wait here. Astrid, I'm not gonna go over Gotri because I think we already talked about him. Well, I'll probably go over him a little bit, but not too much. Astrid is a Bow Knight. As you can see, her starting stats are very low, but of course she is level 1, so what do you expect? This is like other Knight units that we've seen, Oscar, Kieran, Titania. You kind of get the drill by now, but believe it or not, despite what these stats may tell you, Astrid is actually very good in this game. Her growth rates are HP 45%, Strength 40%, Magic 20%, Skill 55%, Speed 50%, Luck 40%, Defense 30%, and Resistance 25%. Now, initially, she is very, very difficult to train because she's frail, obviously. However, whenever she starts getting level ups, you'll realize that she's actually a very good unit, and she can grow to hold her own pretty quickly. Once she class changes, she's pretty much good for the rest of the game, too. A large reason for this is due to the skill that she has, which is Paragon. This doubles the amount of experience points that she gains. So it makes it that much easier to train her, and this also affects, you'll be using less bonus experience if you choose to raise her that way as well. So you won't be using as much there. So these first couple levels she's going to gain really, really quickly, which helps a lot. Obviously you could remove this later if you wanted to and replace it with something like Soul, which we'll get into the Occult skill later, or Adept if you wanted to, anything like that. She's got pretty balanced stats. Her HP is a little bit low, but she does have some added defense due to her item, I guess, the Night Ward. This is an item that whenever you equip it on somebody, it will raise defenses. This can only be for soldiers, knights, and paladins, but it will increase their defense and their resistance by 2. So, a little bit useful. Obviously, if you wanted to, trade something else and have somebody else have the Night Ward, by all means take it and give it to them, but it's completely up to you. If you've got any spare arm scrolls, she'd be a decent candidate for this, just so she can get to like a steel bow. A forged weapon will help her quite a bit. Her strength and luck growths are pretty much average. She can end up a little bit weak on strength and luck. Luck's not really that important, but strength can be a little bit low. But of course you can always just use a band or anything that would give you a strength boost. But I've typically not found that a problem whatsoever. So, very good unit, but you're going to have to be very careful with her starting out. Now, Gotri, come here, you. Lady Astrid, are you alright? And yeah, if you actually talk to Gotri with Ike and the other original Girl Mercenaries, so, Rolf, Oscar, Boyd, etc., they'll actually give you conversation, but you can only recruit her, or recruit him with Astrid. I can't recruit Gotri here, etc. It has to be her. And so eventually, through some convincing, no surprise here. I should have known my presence would have changed the boy for the better. I'm the ideal role model. Whatever helps you sleep at night, I guess. Let's go ahead and get an attack in right here. You can see her animation, and she should get a hit, despite the fact she's level 1. She is a bow unit, so her accuracy, starting out just against these common soldiers, should be pretty good. I mean, it should be like low 80s to mid 90s. It was 94 just then. But look at that, 88 experience just for killing a regular soldier. That's pretty good, all things considered. So, I mean, she will get levels very quickly, as you can clearly see. Gotri, like I said, I'm just going to go over him quickly. He'll have a Steel Lance and a Vulnerary on him if you took away all his items like I did. If not, I believe he'll have whatever he, was left with. But, Knight unit, we've already gone over these. They have very high defense, their movement's pretty slow, and the resistance is generally pretty slow. They'll have high strength, and all their other stats are going to be about average. I'm not a big fan of them, but if you want to use Gotri, he's a pretty decent candidate. I'm not a huge fan of him, but, he is decent in his own right. So if you like the Knight units, go ahead and stick with him, because he is relatively solid. He's much more solid in the sequel of this game, though. His growth rates are HP 80%, Strength 55%, Magic 5%, not that it matters, Skill 55%, Speed 25%, Luck 25%, Defense 60%, and Resistance 30%. So, obviously good defense, good strength, good HP, low speed, even for a general pretty low speed, so you might want to give him a light lance, to boost his speed, so at least so he does not get doubled. He probably won't double anything, but at least so he does not get doubled. You can give him the speed wings if you wanted. Keep in mind that resistance is a weak stat for most armored units. That's always the case, so just be careful when there's magic units around. Gautrey does serve a good purpose in this stage, though, because, if I recall, I mentioned it in the little thing before this, this spot right here, if the enemy sees this location, then it will be game over. This includes the Kilvis Ravens. So, yeah, you can see within 3 turns they can reach there. So what I recommend doing with Gautrey, if you're not going to use him at all, put him on this square and just wait. They will not be able to get the Apostle, and nobody else will be able to get past him. I guarantee you. I've never seen Gautrey die in this level, ever. So, that's a very good spot to put him in. For now, I'm going to work backwards, because that seems like it'd be a little bit easier. Let's start with the units that are farther back here. Nobody's in a really good spot there. Move Mia here. I guess we'll put Soren here. I think this guy, yeah, he does have a ranged weapon. Does this guy? No, he does not. Okay, we'll go for him. There we go. Much better. Sorry, a little bit weak from the fight with the other units. Nice. Alright, that takes care of that. Now we've seen her animation. Let's go ahead and turn it off. Gotcha, it's already been turned off. Okay, cool. You are at decent health, decent health, decent health. About half health. Nobody's in terrible condition yet, but free experience is free experience, so let's take it. Awesome. We get that next turn. Get that next turn. Well, yeah, we'll probably reach that next turn. Movement 7. It's weird to see a character like Soth. You expect a movement of like 5, 6, but no, he goes a lot farther than you think he can. Same as Volk. It's just kind of weird. Nah, I'll go with Jill on this one. No, not that. Yeah, I'll go with Jill. I was just thinking weapon triangle. And I know that obviously she could have done well against this guy, but ooh, that's a low accuracy for Zahart. But it is a Myrmidon, so that's not a huge surprise, I guess. It is another Myrmidon attacking him, so. Alright, so now that you've taken care of pretty much everybody on the ship, pretty much the goal is to block the 3 planks. I've already blocked this one with Jill, so nobody can cross there. I'll block this one with Leith, so nobody can get across there, and then I'll block the left one probably with Oscar. You want somebody that can take a couple hits, like, you know, 2, 3, just in case they do get hit. Yeah, he should have enough with his remaining movement spaces. Let's go ahead and knock this guy out. That longbow archer might actually go after Jill. I'm not certain. We're gonna find out, I guess.